Week 6 has officially kicked off. Let's break down the great slate of games ahead. We, of course, have your highlights from Giants, Patriots, all the ins and outs and the fallout of that one. But it's time for a round of Mad Minute. Let's go to Cleveland. The Browns hosting the Seahawks. I wish I could say 2 Super Bowl contenders, but I'm not so sure. Nate, what are we expecting in this matchup? 60 on the clock.
Yeah, 1 Super Bowl contender for sure. You know, it's funny because we can talk X's and O's all day, but I'm fascinated by the personalities of these two teams. Russell Wilson, who is one of those individuals who has always done it the right way, company guy. Some people say he's a nice guy, but this nice dude has been kicking butt. On the flip side, you have a guy like Baker Mayfield.
Very different.
He's very brash, very outspoken. I want to see who humbles who. And my vote right now is Russell Wilson.
Yeah, look, it lost in handshake gate and whatever else we made out of that and the media made out of that and what became of it was that the Browns got their butts whipped up and down the field on national television on Monday. That has to hurt. It has to hurt as an ego. It has to hurt as a self-esteem. It has to hurt in the locker room. How do they respond? I will learn a lot about Freddie Kitchens and about what they've got in that locker room character-wise. See how they respond against a Seattle team at home in front of another national audience.
I'm not kidding. I can't wait for the handshakes. I can't wait. There's going to be 50 cameras around that coin toss.
So?
100%. This is the most handshake I've looked forward to since like the Belichick Eric Mangini. I'm all about it. I hope he does the Bobby Wagner with the down low, too slow hair slick. Just do it, Baker. That's your thing now. I do.
Do you think he's going to think about it? Like, is he going to be very
it's possible.
All the cameras watching here? I bet he's
Baker's very cheeky. He might.
Yeah.
He might. And I think he should.
We'll see how that one goes. It is in Cleveland. Let's go to Jacksonville. The Jaguars are hosting the Saints. It's a battle of the backups. How do we see this one playing out, Triggs?
Yeah, I feel like this past week, Teddy Bridgewater showed us he's more than just this amazing inspirational story. He's a great quarterback in the league, or at the very least had a great game. But I feel upset coming on in this one. I don't know why. I just feel like Minshew had an awesome game against Carolina. They didn't come out with the win. They were on the road.
You believe in the mania.
And I'm kind of in on Minshew. Like, I'm in on it. And I feel like the Saints are ripe for an upset. They're going into Jacksonville, a team that they might be overlooking with other teams coming on. Love what they've done without Drew Brees. Can they sustain this? Minshew mania, there's something to it. Fournette might run the ball down their throats.
We've had a lot of debates on this show about whether DeAndre or Julio is a better player. I'm running out of reasons why Michael Thomas is not as good as both those guys. And it's a great matchup this weekend because it's looking like Jalen is going to play.
Really?
Michael Thomas has never faced Jalen Ramsey before. He's never faced A.J. Boye before. Remember, 9 catches a week is all he needs to do to catch Marvin Harrison for the most in one season. Jalen versus Michael Thomas, who I think is right now the best receiver in the league.
Speaking of arguments made, how about Alvin Kamara versus Leonard Fournette? And I know last year that wouldn't even be a question. Leonard Fournette had an over 200-yard game this year, so he's making a statement for himself. Alvin Kamara has always been a constant. Let's see who steps up big out of these two running backs.
Last time the Saints lost to the Jags, 2003, an infamous John Carney missed extra points.
That's the return.
That's the best. The lateral play.
Game. That was that game. Let's see what happens. Whoa!
Zoom in on Kyle.
Paython is laterally, and it's Deuce McAllister. It's the beer man. That's an infamous
scored
game.
a miracle touchdown, which would have sent the game to overtime.
John Carney had never missed an extra point in his life. Notre Dame. Oh, I love that game.
I love that I brought that up.
That's a great nugget.
A camera came from the sky to capture Kyle's reaction there.
Moving on to Arizona, the Cardinals host the Falcons. What are you guys looking for in this one, Kyle? Back to you. Zoom in.
You know, it's the thing about John Carney was I want to see what's wrong with Atlanta. I was a huge supporter and celebrator of the Atlanta. I thought they were winning the title game, and yeah. All the players are there. It's all the names you know. It's all these household names, and yet they're not there. And it makes me think of the Saints. The Saints, after all these years, are still responding to Sean Payton. They're not tuning him out. I don't know if the DQ motivational thing has fallen flat because I see all the stars and I don't see any of the wins.
There was a game last week between the Bengals and the Cardinals that I would imagine very little people in America watched. It was 2 winless teams. Yeah. Kyler Murray looked really good. And that was the Kyler Murray I think we were hoping to see week 1, week 2. He looked really good. He led them on a drive at the end after they would give up a 14-point lead. I think there's something to build on right now, and I feel like Kyler Murray might be catching heat a little later than we expected, and this could be the get-right game at home where he shows the home crowd, hey, look, this is what you drafted.
I hear you on that. And Kyle, you said you want to see what's wrong with Atlanta. Yeah. I want to see what's right with Kyler. He used his legs, and that's what
100%.
You're talking about, Schrager. Maybe this game and the rest of the season, he says, you know what, I'm a little undersized. Teams are batting down a lot of balls. Let me just tuck and run because I'm more athletic than most guys on defense.
Okay. Week 6 is one of those weeks where you got 4 teams on a bye. There's some quarterbacks that are hurt. I like Matt Ryan and Kyler Murray from a fantasy perspective. And